what's this? Craig, the Barcola thing is dragging on. Not even talks advancing yet from Fabinho. Look, I'm going to have to just be patient for a second and just compose myself, because there's a couple of things that have caught my eye. I see Lewis was getting a little bit of grief in the video this morning, which, again, if anybody wants to throw any grief at the channel, aim it at me. I'm the front of the channel. I'm the face. I'm the one that gets the stories. I'm the one that does the background checks and all this kind of stuff. So Lewis wouldn't have had the most up-to-date information for his morning video, because he wouldn't have spoken to me at that point, because, well, I was fast asleep. But I don't really know what more I can say around the Barcola thing, other than he's going to be a Liverpool player. There's nothing to worry about. That's it. After that, it's, again, if you want to get yourself tied up in a tizzy about it or get stressed about it, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to make you false promises, and I'm not going to tell you things that I don't know to be true. All I can remind you of is, again, speaking to journalists today, there is zero doubt around the Barcola situation from their regard. Some of them actually think it's already done, for what it's worth. Again, I'm not at the point where I'll say to you it's done, but I am telling you, you've nothing to worry about. And if that isn't enough, no hard feelings. But I can't come in every night and just listen to people getting upset because it hasn't happened today, or, you know, it hasn't happened at a pace that they'd want. I've tried to let you guys in on the situation by giving you stuff that you can read between the lines on. Paris Saint-Germain have to get their ducks in a row. I can only repeat myself on that numerous times. And then we're going to get our information, and you're going to get what you want. And Barcola will be a Liverpool player. You don't have to worry about Arsenal. They're not in the mix. They're not going to hijack it. Every top tier journalist that I know and have spoken to are all absolutely categorical that it's happening. But of course, I, same as everybody else, want to hear we go. I want the breaking news, and I want to be able to come on and say it. And when I do, when it happens, I can tell you more stuff that we knew, but I can't talk about it right now. All I can keep saying is that you've nothing to worry about. Barcola is going to become a Liverpool player, and there is no hijack on the way. A couple of journalists that I've spoken to believe that even the financials of it are done. Now, I don't know that because I don't have that information, but a couple of journalists seem to believe that it is a done deal. So let's wait and see. But all I can keep reiterating is, and I know it isn't good enough for some people, but it's going to happen. Same as Wirtz, same as Isak. He's going to be a Liverpool player, and hopefully we get the announcement soon. But we do have to wait for PSG to get their business done. I don't like it, but it is what it is. John, excuse me, said, you were right about Slot, and it took time. And that's exactly it. I can't force the timing of it. And, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword for me as a content creator, because I want to come on and tell you guys stuff, but I know what's going to come after I tell you. I know that every day I come on, people are going to start getting frustrated that it hasn't happened today, or it isn't moving as quickly as they would like. I can't control that. You know, I can't control that. All I can tell you is you don't have to worry about it. He's going to be a Liverpool player, and we'll all be happy about it in the end. That's all I can say. Well, unless you don't want him to come to Liverpool, in which case it doesn't really matter because you're not going to be happy about it anyway. But yeah, that's where we're at with Barcola. If I could name drop on this one and tell you who's saying this, I don't think you'd have any doubts on it, but I understand it. I'm as excited and anxious about it as everybody else, because first and foremost, I'm a Liverpool fan, and this is a position that's been a problem area for us in attack with pace, and we need him in. Now, that's all I can say, but you've nothing to be concerned about. Craig, I'm a bit sceptical about Barcola in Liverpool, because yesterday I was speaking to Google, and apparently only a 45% chance of joining. I don't really know what to say to that, bro. Again, I'm not telling you how to feel. All I'm telling you is what we know, and that's it. Again, that's all I can say. I could tease this shit out a lot more. I could be far more clickbaity about it, but I'm very, very, very confident that he's a Liverpool player. You know, above the 95% the other day. And I think we'll have a fun week this week when the news eventually drops. PSG are closing in on the situation with Ferran Torres. That's going to be done. The Götze deal is closing down as well. And then, of course, you're going to see what you want to see. And we'll all come on and have a good time about it. But after that, I don't really know what to say. Craig, not much moving on Mbai after the breaking news a couple of days ago. I broke nothing about Mbai. Again, I've told you multiple times I don't have the information on Liverpool's interest in Mbaye, apart from the fact that we're interested, as are multiple other clubs. I've never claimed to have inside information on that. I've never come on and told you guys it's going to happen. So I can't add to that one, much like I couldn't add to the defensive side of it because I didn't have that information either. Again, people need to remember, I'm a fan, not a journalist, but I do have some connections and I tell you what we know. So there's loads to discuss tonight. Kevin Burrow said, keep seeing hijack but not bothered either way. There's going to be no hijack. There is going to be no hijack. Arsenal aren't going to come in and steal Barcola from under our noses. And I don't have in black and white in front of me the level of information that the journalists that said they believe it's done have. They know more than me, but they won't give out the actual details of it, and that's understandable, because that would give out their sources. If they were to say to me, Craig, look, it's this amount of money, and it's these and the add-ons, and it's going to happen on this day, I don't know. But anybody that's in our WhatsApp will know we get information. I told you about the announcement of Ronald Araujo. I told you what time it was going to be at. And then a few minutes later when I told you, there goes the announcement. I told you he passed his medical last night. I told you we signed his contract this morning at around 11 o'clock. And all of that came true exactly as I told you. So when I do know stuff, it's usually right. But if we don't know it, we don't know it. Now let's move on to the Endrich situation, because let's talk about it from a Liverpool perspective. The agent was going around trying to plant stories to say that Liverpool were in the mix for Endrich. Our information was that there wasn't really much to this and that they were trying to pressurise Real Madrid into making some decisions. And it seems like that's worked, because no sooner had the story started to come out about Roma, Liverpool, Aston Villa, and the journalists that we spoke to are very, very dubious about the links. Then the story came out from Hermano pretty quickly this evening to say Real Madrid inform Endrich and his agents about a decision to keep the player at the club. Real management told Rock Nation about the decision to keep Endrich and continue him in the squad, as Dario AS reported. Jose Mourinho has also approved the plan. So that was one of those situations where Liverpool actually managed to sniff out that this was a little bit of a cat and mouse game. And again, same agency, Rock Nation. So that's where we're at with Endrich. It's not going to happen. It was never going to happen. We were being put out there, and his agent, and I could give you a name on this one, his agent was out there even talking to people I know, trying to say that Liverpool were in the mix. But the people I know that spoke to the agent were very, very dubious about it, because there's a history of stories being planted here to push other things along. So that's why I never came on here and talked to you guys much about Endrich, because it was never really an option for Liverpool. And I was very dubious, as I said to you guys yesterday and the day before, about Liverpool going to the table with Rock Nation again. I didn't think that was going to happen. So yeah, that's where we're at with Endrich. He's staying at Real Madrid, according to Romano, who would of course have very good sources on it. So that's where we're at with that one. Sorry, there was a couple of chats I need to catch up on. My apologies. Leona said, how are you, Craig? Hope the family are well. Very good, thank you, Leona. Yeah, really good. Happy to see Araujo announced today. Looking forward to hopefully seeing him get some minutes against Como. Interesting to see if he is going to be utilised at right back or if he's going to be played at centre back. So yeah, it was a good one off. Obviously, Maka arrived back at the Axa today as well after his holiday, which, you know, was good to see Maka back. Lewis is doing a great job, said Carl. I think so as well, but Lewis is just doing his best to fill in for Connor. And a lot of the time, Lewis at that hour of the morning wouldn't have information from me yet because I'd be fast asleep. So Lewis comes on to help out, and I am so appreciative of him. But all I will ask people is save the grief for me, you know, because I'm the one that is happy to stand here and get the grief. I don't like anybody else coming in for a bit of flack, because, you know, ultimately I'm the one that drives this channel, what we talk about, the stuff that we put out. So yeah, any grief, save it for me, and leave our man Lewis, because I think he's doing a cracking job and he's been a very welcome addition to the team. Right, let's keep going. There was also another report today, I think it was from Sasha Tavalieri, that said Barcola will happen once PSG have got their deal sorted out for Mika Götze and obviously Ferran Torres, which again is stacking up with exactly what we've been saying. What's this one? Craig, the COP correspondent. I've not got a fucking clue who they are, Liam. Again, when I say these things, I don't mean it to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to undermine anybody else's stuff. I just don't know who they are. So I couldn't tell you. And I've no information on my side about Ibrahim Mbaye other than what we know to be the case, that Liverpool and other clubs are interested. Yeah. So I couldn't tell you whether they're talking out the backside or not, because I just don't know. What's happening with Mackett and City? If you could give us a rough date in Barcola. I can't give you a rough date because I can't tell you when PSG are going to do their business. All I can tell you is you've nothing to be worried about. It's going to happen. He's going to be a Liverpool player. I could tell you it's done, and I could tell you that with credibility because I've been told it by two people. I just need a bit more before I'm going to put my reputation on the line and tell you it's done, but he is going to join. I just can't say the words "it's signed, sealed and delivered" yet with regards to an agreement with PSG, because as much as I think it is, I want to be a little bit cautious with it. And I'm macking with Man City. I haven't got a clue. There are a couple of parts of it that make sense to me, but I don't know because I don't have any sources in and around Manchester City that could give me any information on it. I've told you guys for months that Liverpool are open to the idea of selling McAllister, but now at this stage of the window, I don't know if that's still the case. And I have no idea how Liverpool would react to an offer from Manchester City. We have been willing to do business with them in the past around Diaz and stuff like that. Obviously, the last sale, I think, was Raheem Sterling all the way back when. So yeah, on that one, I don't know. It'd be a weird one though, because you would imagine that he'd feel like he could achieve what he wants to achieve in the Premier League or whatever at Liverpool. So to move to Man City, I don't get it. Unless it's a money thing, perhaps, I don't know. But I would imagine if Maka does leave Liverpool, it would be to leave outside the Premier League. But again, that's just a guess.